Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over a team that one of the people that I coach was playing today, and he went 13-0 with it in Spring Cup. It's going to be Tropius in the lead with Lanturn in the back, and then most of the time going to be safe swapping Dewgong. Now, the reason that this team really works is that Dewgong has crazy good coverage against the things in this cup, having the drill run and the icy wind. But also Tropius has really good coverage, which is a weird thing to say because Tropius not exactly known for the coverage, but with this cup being so limited, its coverage is actually really good. Now, one thing to note is one of the harder matchups is going to be Obama Snow, especially in the lead. But there are ways to go around it, and we do get examples of that in this video, so we'll go through that. Let's go ahead and get into the games. All right. So first lead, Roserade in the lead. It is going to be Poison Jab or Roserade, so they do outpace us. Well, both versions outpace us, but this one's really tough for Tropius because it has the actual chance to end up KOing. We go for a little bit of damage here, and then coming in with Dewgong. Most of the time, these Tentacruels are running Acid Spray. Definitely this matchup already showing two Poison types, which is interesting. Poison having decent coverage as it really takes out a lot of the grass types. And you'll see in this video a lot of grass going around in this cup right now. Probably to counteract anyone trying to run Lanturn, which obviously we're running Lanturn as well. Dewgong very bulky, so able to get to these moves pretty fast. I think they do end up shielding this, which we're totally fine with. We're going to get taken out here, although they do end up coming in with a Ferrothorn. Good for us to know that, though. I think we'll end up being able to come back in with Tropius and then have some Aerial Aces for this. It looks like 2 Aerial Aces combined with a few fast attacks should be enough to take out this Ferrothorn. And then while there is a Roserade in the back, they have already used their energy, so they're pretty close to dry. They end up having Mirror Shot, great for us. They end up getting to move before us. But yeah, Roserade with down a shield, basically, even against Lanturn, is just going to be way too squishy. Probably going to be in Thunderbolt range, if I remember right. And definitely just going to let this go. This is an Acid Spray. Great to stay in and not switch because they had a ton of energy, but now we're going to be able to switch and maybe have a swap out later when we get, this is again another Acid Spray, so going to be able to save the shield here. We really need to be saving the shield for the Roserade. It's a good farm down here. Thunderbolt basically going to get close to KOing here, but I think, if I remember right, he ended up going for the Surfs. So if you go for the Surf, you're going to have to go for 2 Surfs, but Tentacruel... Well, Tentacruel's down, and then Ferrothorn's probably in range, well, to get Sparked down. I don't think he actually is, but we still have the shield. They're not getting a move off. And if they do, to be fair, this is probably a Mirror Shot, but definitely going to shield while we still have it. Still could have survived this and then gone to the Tropius for the farm down. There were a lot of win cons here. The thing about running Roserade, while it's insane in this cup, is it is so squishy that anything can take it out, even the water types. Going to come in with a Venusaur lead here. This is obviously in favor of Tropius, but Venusaur does have ways to fight back with Sledge Bomb. It does about 65%, I think, to Tropius. Tropius just so bulky. Definitely interesting. A Roserade coming in here. Okay, we don't throw here. It does have Bullet Seed, definitely with something to catch here. But that's fine. We can probably go for 2 Aerial Aces here if we want, and then maybe switch into Dewgong. Also, could just, well, probably do switch into Dewgong here, to be honest. Or go for the farm down, let them throw a move at us. Yeah, I like coming in Dewgong here. Could go for the shield, is probably worth it, because it could still have Leaf Storm here. Ends up having Grass Knot, but hey, stop the Grass move from hitting our Watermon. Now we have a lot of energy on Dewgong, and again, the coverage moves on Dewgong are kind of insane. If they came back in with the Venusaur, we could have thrown the Icy Wind, and that would have still been good to get to the Backmon. And then, with all the coverage moves, probably going to hit it for something of some sort of effectiveness, but even if not, we can Icy Wind that and just lower its attack for the rest of the game. All right, Tropius into Serperior at the beginning of this, then they swap into Pelipper. We end up throwing a move at the Pelipper. That's a bit of a mistake, but we correct that later. Definitely Lanturn just doesn't take any sort of damage from the Pelipper, so we can always go for, at the beginning, 3 fast attacks and then just swap into Lanturn and farm all the way down. If they're going to let us get to the moves, we'll try to throw the moves, but if they're already down a shield, so you might as well throw that Thunderbolt at the beginning. Otherwise, normally I would throw a million Surfs into something if they have 2 shields, just in case they shield something. I don't want to lose out on too much energy. But they go for the farm down here. They end up catching on their Lanturn, but that's okay with us. Tropius really good against both of these, so going to come in with Dewgong, actually, to lower the chances of running into, or saving the shields, rather, for the Mon that's going to be good in the back, and then, sorry, putting my notifications off there. Since Dewgong's still going to be able to hit this for some sort of effectiveness, and we also aren't going to shield anything, so if they decide to go for baits, we're going to get infinite damage off on this, and then have Tropius in a superior, which obviously is fantastic for us anyways. But yeah, they end up going for 2 baits because we have the 2 shield lead. Makes sense, but also makes sense that we probably weren't ever going to shield anything considering we have Tropius in the back. Tropius probably lives these 2 aerial aces, but yeah, we're just going to farm down from here, or we can throw the move. Doesn't matter either way. And that'll be GG in this game. Basically, any Pelipper swap in is going to be really bad for opponents. So they end up leading Tentacruel here. Obviously, we want Lanturn in this matchup, but we can't safe swap into our hardest counter, so we go into Dewgong, our coverage counter. They go for the Acid Spray, and then they have a Victory Bell. This is really bad, but we are going to get the shield advantage, which hopefully is going to be enough for Tropius to do enough in the back. We're not going to be able to get to another one because we got Acid Sprayed. We got that 2 times debuff, even though we did debuff this once. Still taking that extra damage. Tropius definitely going to be able to farm this down. Not really anything to be scared of here. Even a Sledge Wave is already going to be reduced by 1 times, and really just going to be able to throw 1 Leaf Blade into this Tentacruel right away just to get a little low, and then switch into Lanturn. And they're probably going to want to go for, again, another Acid Spray, just a 2 times debuff, but we're okay with that as long as we get an energy advantage going into this, because they wouldn't be throwing moves into this if they had an actual hard counter. So it makes me think that we're not going to be hard counter in the back, and then it does end up being Mawile. Fire is resisted here. Yeah, this is going to be pretty good for us. We'll be able to throw another couple Surfs into this. The worst thing this could be is a Play Rough, but we have shields, so we're probably just going to shield whatever Mawile does here. I think if I remember right, this is going to be a Power-Up Punch. Oh, it ends up being in our head. There's a Power-Up Punch later. I do remember a Power-Up Punch, but it doesn't matter because we're just so far ahead. We end up throwing the Thunderbolt here, but a Surf probably would have been good enough, but they're not at any energy because they just threw the Acid Spray before switching out, so we know we can just go for the big move. They do end up starting with Pelipper here. I think we just go for Leaf Blade right away. Technically, they get 1 extra through, but that's fine. We kind of just want to go for a chip and dip and then go into a neutral matchup here. They end up farming a ton of energy here. I do remember this one as well. They come in with their own Dewgong, but we have the energy advantage, so we are going to dictate the pace here. If they want to shield, we'll shield with them because we are going to be able to take this out before it takes us out. I would really love to go for the 0 shields here, and even though Pelipper has 100 energy in the back, literally has 100 energy, which is max, the Lanturn is not going to take any damage from it. So as long as we win switch here, which we're definitely going to survive this, and then it's a question of will this drill run actually KO the Dewgong, because the Ice Shards do double resisted damage. So this is really the only move that's doing any damage here. But again, if we get the Lanturn into the Pelipper, it's just way over. Pelipper comes in, they throw Weather Ball water here. Probably going to KO. Maybe not though, kind of close. But they're going to get the extra energy. But then we come in Lanturn and we can just take all this energy. It doesn't do anything to us. And hopefully the Mon in the back is going to be pretty bad against Tropius. It ends up being a Shift Tree. I think I asked him to go for a full farm down here just because we can definitely farm this down. And again, we don't need shields for the Pelipper. But he does end up throwing here. Just maybe gets a little nervous to throw the move here, but definitely we could have farmed this down. We're still going to be able to farm this down, though, to be fair, because we have shields, and we don't care about their shields in the end, which is why I wanted to just go for a farm down anyways. Definitely worth the shield here. Again, we don't mind. We don't need anything to take out the Pelipper. Goes for the Leaf Blade, and I actually think they shielded if I remember. But yeah, we have Lanturn coming back in, and that's just GG. Abomasnow. So again, Abomasnow is a really difficult mon to deal with. They end up staying in here a long time because they want to throw the grass move into us. Technically, we would survive, but I want to just save it up here, save the Dewgong as much as possible. They do end up switching in and catching this move from us, but they also end up shielding, so that's great for us. I think if I remember right, this guy was throwing Hydro Pumps. If you are running Empoleon, Hydro Cannon rather, you're going to want to throw the Drill Pecks. They're at least neutral, whereas the Hydro Pumps are resisted. Although, maybe I'm wrong in the amount of damage that it does, so maybe someone can correct me in the comments, but I think you should be throwing Drill Peck. Technically, I think an Icy Wind would KO this, but just go for the Drill Run. It's the same amount of energy on either side, so not really losing anything. But just in case they wanted to shield, maybe we could have reduced it, but that really doesn't matter that much. They end up throwing right here, which I think is actually just a Weather Ball. I think this was 5, and technically they only needed 4 to get to this one. So we end up getting an Icy Wind off, and this is huge for us because the whole time we're in that Abomasnow lead, we're thinking about how we can either gain energy or damage onto the Abomasnow. And I think at this point we can maybe farm this down. We're going to have to use a shield here, but I think it's perfectly okay. We have perfect coverage here with Tropius and Lanturn in the back. Does end up being a Grassmon, but we have a huge energy advantage. So going to be able to throw 2 Aerial Aces into this. A Shadow Ball, even from a Trevenant who is very attack weighted, is going to do not enough to KO us just because Tropius is that bulky. I keep reiterating that through the video just to, if anyone really needs that confidence to know, Tropius lives a lot of things. So end up taking out the Trevenant, and yeah, nice. So it was ABA Grass, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, but ABA Grass is not that bad when you have Abomasnow because not a lot of things cover both of those types of grasses in this cup, because Abomasnow having those ice moves really threatens the things that hurt grass, like Roserade, Tropius, these other grass types it has coverage against. So they end up switching in here pretty late, which again, Empoleon's kind of like Pelipper in the sense that all we really need is that we don't care how much energy it has, because we have Lanturn in the back, which fully resists all the full move set of Empoleon. So having this energy lead here against Jellicent is fantastic for us. And I think they end up throwing the Surf here. I don't know if they got a little scared of where we were at, but a Surf looks like it might have KO'd us here. But we actually hang on. And I think he has a really high rank Dewgong, so for PvP stats. So pretty good for us. We end up winning a switch, and that's kind of all we wanted to do, right? We can just wall all of this energy from Empoleon by coming in with Lanturn. And just going to be able to... Oh, and then this person had Parasect, and I was super scared. And I was like, you know what, though? We probably can't just farm it down. Let's go ahead and throw Leaf Blades into it. Now it has 1-turn move as in Fury Cutter, so it doesn't really matter the timing of when you throw it. But I was like, we're probably going to shield again. We're probably going to throw Leaf Blade again. Even though this thing double resists Leaf Blade, it's so freaking squishy that it really doesn't matter. But it gets to these cross poisons super fast. I don't know if this guy's kind of aiming for a lot of the Superiors, or even the even really good against Trevenant. I'm not sure what exactly Parasect hits, but I know it hits hard. And Fury Cutter also doing a lot of damage. You saw on our Tropius there. So this is going to be GG. We're just going to go for the Thunderbolt, and that'll KO this thing. But again, look, we wall all this energy off that, all we're trying to do is win switch. And again, we talked about this one too. Our opponents that are saving all this energy on these Mon don't know what our back Mon is. And so we can, knowing that, we're gaining that huge, massive energy advantage in the mid game. And then we know that we can wall off all that energy. So we know that it's useless, and we know how to play out the rest of the game state. This game... again, we went up to 3 3 fast attacks on the Pelipper, then swapped into the Lanturn and just walled the Pelipper, and they were done with it. Now this matchup, I remember also, I think we do end up getting to 2 icy. Oh no, I think they live with like 1 HP here at the end. Oh no, okay. But we have Tropius, but we need to make sure we wait out the timer because we don't want to get stuck into that Abomasnow matchup for too long, as it's double super effective. And I think we end up burning both shields here, which might be fine here in the end anyways, just because they're throwing at bad timing against us, so we got in that extra move. But it also means they're going to outpace us to this move if we throw in good timing, but that's fine. We gained shield advantage for a reason. Now we're down in shields, but we have loaded energy here. And it actually ends up being a CMP tie, which means we lagged 1 turn, which sucks, because it means that our good timing ended up being punished by the lag from Niantic, which sucks, but you know, that happens. We end up throwing on bad timing here just to KO this, and then I try to tell him to catch a Shadow Ball here on Lanturn, but they end up throwing Seed Bomb, which is weird. Okay, gonna go, I think, up to a Thunderbolt here. The worst case scenario for us is they're trying to gain energy enough to throw a Seed Bomb and a Shadow Ball, but I think with the Seed Bomb debuffs in, I think it was 2 seasons ago, it costs too much energy to save up both of those moves. You can have 2 Seed Bombs, but you can't have a Seed Bomb plus Shadow Ball. Someone in the comments can let me know if that's true or not. But yeah, we have a move loaded here, and we end up getting it off here against Trevenant. Cherrim, not a mon you see very much. I know that it has Weather Ball Fire, but I told him, let's just take this move. I don't think it really does a lot to us. The reason that you're so scared, again, we wall this with Lanturn, so get a little bit of energy. We ended up throwing here, but we really should have gone for energy here and then just swapped to Lanturn as it walls it. But going back into that Cherrim matchup, so Cherrim has Weather Ball, which is the same as Roserade, but we're so much more scared of Roserade because Roserade has Poison Jab, which is also going to be doing super effective fast attack damage. So that ends up adding up as a whole against Tropius, whereas the Cherrim has Bullet Seed, and so we're only taking the Weather Balls because we double resist the Bullet Seeds. Now, Cherrim's also pretty squishy, so we have a ton of energy by farming down that Empoleon, so we're just going to probably go for a Thunderbolt, and then any sort of surfs that it's going to allow us to get to, we'll also go for that. And not necessarily caring about timing because they could throw at any point, but also Cherrim doesn't have a lot of coverage, so I think that its only other grass move is Solar Beam, and then I think it also has Dazzling Gleam and Hyper Beam. So it has gigantic moves and then the fire move. So it's really not the same kind of coverage as Roserade. If I'm running one of these mon, I think I would rather run Roserade. But technically it resists Drill Run, so maybe the typing is what they're going for here. So they end up coming with the Venusaur. We already have the energy advantage, so we can throw this before they get to Frenzy Plant. And then we can just farm this all the way down. And remember, it does have Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Sludge Bomb. And that would definitely KO us from here, even though it is reduced 1 time. So might as well use our shields. It is Shadow Venusaur. Let's not get too wild with it, although we have a full Dewgong in the back. So this one was a weird one. Is it Hisuian Electrode? So technically we're throwing neutral into it, it's throwing neutral into us. We do survive a wild charge, so I was like, don't throw anything, and then I wanted to go good timing, but they end up going really bad timing on their side. So I'm fine with this. They're probably going to switch out. We at least get to know what's happening here. Ends up being Pelipper. If you saw, he actually clicked on the Dewgong, but then clicked right away onto the Lanturn. And we got pretty lucky there that we came back in with the mon that we really wanted to be in here. And then, yeah, we're going to farm this down. And Hisuian Electrode is pretty squishy. Only time I've really ever seen it is an Electric Cup, which technically we've already played here in the beginning of the season, so some people should be used to it. But it's pretty squishy, so these surfs are actually going to do a lot. And this is one of the instances where I would throw, just a lot of surfs to throw into this, so we're just going to throw surfs. It's going to gain a lot of energy, but also we're pretty close to pressuring a 3rd surf here, and even the 2nd surf probably will KO. So if they don't throw a move at us, we're going to get to another surf, and then we're just going to let this go. We have a ton of energy on Tropius, but we probably should come in Dewgong and start getting a lead on that, especially since this is double reduced and not close to another move. It's going to end up going down, and then we'll have energy for this last mon if we need Icy Wind it or anything like that. Tropius already has full energy, so that's why I didn't want to come in Tropius and farm down, especially since both are having super effective fast attacks anyways. We might as well get some sort of energy onto Dewgong while we have the chance there. All right, Mawile, really bad lead for Tropius. They end up staying in here a long time, though. They throw this move. I forget if we shield. I think we don't shield because it's not like it would do a lot anyways. And they end up staying in, so Drill Run obviously super effective against the steel typing of the Mawile. They end up taking it, which is great for us. And then they come in Swampert, and oh, I remember this game. We make some misplays. Yeah, going for Icy Wind. Might as well just keep going Icy Wind. Definitely not going to shield. Tropius is going to be able to just take the Swampert out from anything. And if they end up baiting, the no shields are going to come in handy. And they do end up baiting. And even another Hydro Pump wouldn't KO anyways. We throw in bad timing, but because I know they're going to get to a move, we might as well try. Just in case they're getting greedy with the farm. They end up going for the Earthquake. I tell him to go in Tropius, but he ends up coming in with Lanturn and then just comes back in with Tropius right away. Definitely, I don't advise doing that, but I know sometimes you can just get caught up in the moment. But this Swampert can't really do anything to us, and it is 2 times reduced at this point. They end up coming back in with Mawile, and I'm like, you know what, we can just farm this down. They already threw a move. Mawile takes a long time to get to moves with Fire Fang, and yeah, I think there was probably a Quagsire in the back, if I was to guess. That's what I was telling him, I think is in the back, so I knew we were all in on Tropius at that point. Yeah, so GG's in that game, and definitely Tropius and Dewgong, it's not like they have perfect coverage with each other, but they have such good coverage individually that having 2 kind of neutral mon into the league that can go neutral against almost everything is fantastic. And then we have that really hard Lanturn swap in the back, just in case they swap into something like Empoleon or, you know, Tentacruel or especially Pelipper. So thanks for watching the video, and yeah, if you guys want coaching, I definitely do that. You can see I think I have a link below to Medify, which is where I do the coaching at. So yeah, hit me up if you want that, and I'll see you in the next one. And it'll say that again. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's just I'm used to it. Hey, thank you for watching the video, and if you want to continue to support me, definitely click that subscribe button. You'll see any content coming out, and if you want another video on this same league for some more tips and tricks to other teams, check that video out right there, and I'll see you in the next one.